we all know, we've all gone on a story. We all have a story of when we went on our first dates or something like that. Well, I remember my first date. I took out this chick, and when she got in the car, I picked her up. She got in the car. Everything was going pretty smooth. And then when she got in the car, in the middle of the conversation, we're having a conversation. She just started picking on her phone. She started fidgeting with it. I didn't play too much about it. I was like, well, she's probably telling her friends, putting me on Facebook, saying, oh, this guy's taking me out. Awesome. No big deal. Then as soon as we arrive to the restaurant, we get out, I open the door, everything's going fine, we sit on the table, we start talking, everything's going fine. But then she pops up again with her phone. No big deal, I didn't think about it. I thought maybe she's just messaging her mom, telling her that everything's okay. No problem. Then again, as the conversation could go on, every 2 minutes, she just kept looking at her phone. Kept looking at her phone, kept looking at her phone. Sometimes when I would take a pause, or when we were paused to eat, she would just stop and just, like she was searching, like scrolling. I didn't think too much of it. Finally, as the date ended, took her home, everything was fine. And then as she's getting off the car, she gets on the phone again, walking all the way to the door on her phone. I know we've seen this plenty of times. But for us, men, we're usually mesmerized by their kisses or their hugs, or the lucky ones. So we don't see those things in those around the younger ages. But now that I'm matured more, I'm starting to see those problems, especially now with our adolescences. I feel like we've started to become internet addicts, and we don't even know it. Some of us may call it a bad habit or just a behavior issue, but it's not. It's called internet addiction. Now, through the speech, you're going to learn what the problem is of internet addiction, what the problems are, what causes them, and also what the solutions are to these problems, especially with technology emerging each and every day. We have to see these things for the way that they are. To begin, 14.3% of regular users are called mild users. 61.5% of the people between the ages of 24 and 17 are 61.5%, and they're considered moderate users. Now, for the 20.2% are serious users, and those are the ones you really got to worry about. Those are the statistics that were turned in 2014. Now, problem one, what it does to you. The first thing that internet addiction does to you is that it isolates you. It isolates you from your friends, from many persons that you're in contact with, then your family, and even to your most closest person in relationship. You become more isolated. You substitute that face-to-face contact. You seem to not want it no more because you're more interested in what the game's got to offer for you. Then secondly, you start getting physical problems. Your neck hurts, your arms hurt, your fingers hurt, your wrist hurts. Something starts hurting. Your back, because you're sitting down all day, you may gain weight, you may lose weight. And you don't even know it, but your focus starts leaving out the door too. Now, Shamel Brown and Blinka L. in 2012, an association between online friendships and internet addiction among teenagers, in their article wrote, early studies of youth internet use in the late indicate that the extensive use of online communication can lead to a decline in one's social circle amount of communication with family, as well as increase in depression and loneliness. We already know that our youth suffers a lot from that nowadays. Do we really want to add more to it? All right. Now, problem number two, what it does to your work. You spend less time studying, you spend more time online, you lose your focus, you start losing your work hours, your work ethics, you start coming in late. Everything just goes out the door because you don't care no more. You might even start beginning to feel some sleep deprivation. That's why eventually you end up getting fired, you failed in classes. Now, D. Leo, J.A., and Wolfer E. in 2013, in their article, Problematic Internet Use and Other Risky Behaviors in College Students, wrote, depressed or anxious students might use the chat room to combat loneliness or get involved in multi-user games, assuming alter virtual personalities, and the like to escape painful effect of individuals with anxiety and mood disorders. Wow. Wow. Now, problem three, problems in your relationship. Now, how can you say, well, how's this affect me? if it's really him who's hurting himself, well, it will affect you, especially to those that are married or have children. The dishes start piling, they start forgetting their tasks, they start forgetting their dates, doctor's appointments and all that. They begin to start in denial every time you bring up or you nag them about it. They begin to lie to you about where they spend their time or why they weren't able to finish something. And in worst case scenarios, you may even have some aggression in you. They might start pushing back, they might just not want to hear it. It might affect you in a big way, believe it or not, because you're the one who's taking care of that person maybe has a relationship with you. Especially with the parents, seeing their children going through that, that's harsh. Or somebody that's married, that person's not there to help you out no more, so now you have to pick up the slack. So it does affect us. And not only that, it affects the community in general. Because other kids are going to see them doing that, then what's the problem with them doing it also? Now, in one of the articles, Kimberly S. Young in 2014, Internet Addiction Bonaventure University for Online Addiction wrote, a cyber affair is defined as a romantic and or sexual relationship that is initiated online contact and maintained predominantly through electronic conversations such as email, chat rooms, or interactive games. In some worst cases, yes, they will even start cheating on you. That's what Facebook and Instagram have done. You see it all the time. Somebody putting their drama out there, or somebody hollering at somebody because they like that picture, all because of the internet addiction. Now, the causes. The causes of internet addiction, which are more prone, are anxiety, depression, lack of socialization with other people, addictions such as gambling, drug abuse, and so on. If you have a relationship with any of these causes, you're more prone to becoming an internet addict. Okay. Now the solutions. The solution would be to cut down internet use, evaluate ourselves as human beings, and start thinking about where these technologies come out, and think about the pros and cons, and see what we can do to avoid situations. Stay active as human beings, face-to-face communication, and if you just can't handle it, then just go and seek help. There's phone numbers, there's special hotline, the government offers help. There's no need for you to stress out or thinking about the bills. No, there are places that will do this for free. In conclusion, as we have these evolving technologies each and every day, we want to make sure that we're stopping and evaluating each other more as human beings. For we're an ever-evolving species. We're always going to try to do the best. We're always going to try to do what we can to better ourselves. Now, you may say, well, it doesn't affect me much. It may not hurt me, but it will affect our future beings. Now, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Are we not our brothers and sisters keepers? Thank you. Any questions? No? That concludes my speech.